Samantha. I am your Better You coach. Welcome to your stretch and tone class. Today, all you're going to need is a little bit of space. We're going to spend a lot of time on the ground, so on a mat. If you don't have a mat, just find a nice clear space and have some water nearby just in case you need it. There will be a little bit of periods where you'll be working a little bit and then periods of a lot of stretching as well. So it is quite a low intensity class. But in saying that, there is still always a chance that you can injure yourself. So please make sure that you listen to your own body. I'll be giving different levels of the exercises and the stretches. So a beginner level, and then I'll be giving more advanced options too. So think about where you are today, think about how your body's feeling, and work within your own limits. So in saying that, to start, we're going to really start to connect to our body a little bit, and there's a really good way of doing that, and that is through your breath. So find a comfortable seated position. So kneeling, sitting, you can prop yourself up with pillows or anything, you can cross your legs, and you can change your seated position whenever it starts to feel uncomfortable anyway. Sit up nice and tall, roll your shoulders and relax your shoulders down, and then bring your right hand to your belly and your left hand to your chest. And just close your eyes if it feels good. And just start to bring your focus inwards. Start to focus a little bit on that breath. So without changing anything, just become aware of your breath. Are you feeling your breath coming into your belly? Or is it just coming into your chest? Is it fast? Is it slow? Check in with how your body's feeling. Are you feeling tension in your neck and shoulders? Can you release your shoulders a little bit away from your ears? And then start to make your breath a little bit more intentional. So as you start to inhale, see if you can feel your belly start to press out into your hands. So this is the first part of our stretching sequence, is we're actually going to stretch our respiratory muscles, so stretching through the diaphragm and expanding through that rib cage. So as you inhale, see if you can make it a little bit longer and slower. So as you're inhaling in, you should feel your belly start to press out into your hand to inhale, so you're pushing all that air down into your belly, and then exhaling as your belly lowers. So you should feel the belly rise first on the inhale, and then the chest rise, and then on the exhale, feel your belly lower and your chest lower. Inhaling in. Now if this is difficult for you, it might not be something you've practiced before, so it's really good to just become aware of where you're breathing and see if you can sort of intentionally do that through the class as well. So breathing into your belly, stretching out through the diaphragm. And then bring your hands to your sides. So as well as stretching out down into your belly, you're going to stretch out that breath down into your sides of your rib cage as well. Inhaling in. And then exhaling out. So as you're inhaling in, you should hopefully feel the belly and rib cage expand into your hands, and as you're exhaling, it's slightly coming back in. See if you can relax your shoulders a little bit more away from your ears. Great, so we're going to keep trying to practice this breathing throughout class, so I'll give you lots of cues. So as well as the cues for the breathing, just try and listen to my cues a lot as well. The stretches and exercises may not look like mine because we're all different, everyone's different. So just again, work with your own body. So you're going to start with your right hand down in that comfortable seated position, or change to a different one if you need. Left hand's going to reach up nice and high. So reach as high as you can through those fingertips, and then exhale over towards the right. So just what we're practicing then, breathe in and expand the side of your rib cage, so spread out through the side of those ribs, reach with those fingertips. can pull your fingertips back a little bit further behind you, so you're really opening up a bit more through that chest. And then, especially in this stretch, make sure that you're not taking too much tension into your face. You can change your head position, find something where you get a good stretch. One more breath here. And then reach through those fingertips, come all the way back up to center. Straight into the other side, left hand down, right hand reaches up, and then exhale, folding over. So really try and press those ribs and open through that side body. Keep reaching through those fingertips. Bring that breath into the side of the ribs. And then coming all the way back to center. Come onto the mat and you're going to roll down onto your back. So just getting a little bit of movement through that low back and pelvis. Bring your heels in close towards your butt but not touching. Feet hip distance apart. And then you're going to start to press down through your low back. We're going to roll up one vertebrae at a time. So I want you to press down through your low back. So you're imprinting your spine onto the mat. Roll up one vertebrae at a time. So starting from your hips, lift up. Good. And then here, try not to arch through your back. So you shouldn't be able to see your ribs. So pull your ribs down so you can see a straight line down to your knees. Now, if you've been doing a lot of sitting, you might feel a big stretch through the front of your legs. And that's what we're trying to get here a little bit as well. Drive through the heels of your feet. So you're feeling that tension in the back, in the back of the legs. And then roll down nice and slowly, so one vertebrae at a time. We're going to do that 2 more times. So press down through your low back, imprint your spine, starting from the pelvis. Roll up nice and slow. Lift those hips and try and drive through the heels so the back of the legs is working, the front of the legs is stretching. Now, if you want to advance a little bit more, you can bring your arms up towards the ceiling and then use that control through the core to roll down nice and slow. One more time here. Exhale, press down, and then roll up nice and slow. Lift those hips. Drive through those heels. And then down nice and slow, control. Bring your feet mat width apart now, or a little bit wider than your hips. Bring your arms out to the side and just let your knees fall to one side and then to the other. So you're just windshield wiping your legs a little bit. Windshield wiping, I guess that's just what they look like. Feel free to pause the video too and put music on. I normally do have music in the classes, but it's just easier for you to hear me if I don't have any music on. Keep moving those legs, getting a little bit of rotation through those hips. And then you're going to bring your legs back in. You're going to interlace your fingers around the back of your right leg. Option C for the left leg, you can keep it bent. If you can, straighten it all the way out though, and then you get that openness still through the front of that left hip. Interlace the fingers behind the back of the right leg and just do some nice big ankle rotations here. So try and bring your ankle into the biggest circle as possible, bringing your toes back towards your shin and then around. And then rotating the other direction. Should feel good to move your foot through a full range, your toes moving. And then let's get a little bit more focused into that hamstring stretch here. So take some nice deep breaths. So it's like I was saying at the start, that breath is really important in stretching. So your muscles aren't only just tense from your muscles being tense. You can actually get signals from your brain that will tense your muscles as well and keep that tension. So we can use our breath to help try and relax and to tell our brain that it's okay to release. So to tell our brain that it's okay to relax and to release that tension. So you're going to stay here for about another 3 breaths. So make sure you've got that nice stretch in the back of your leg. Every time you exhale, think about releasing a little bit more. Make sure you're not holding too much tension in your face. And then you're going to keep that nice deep breath, but we're going to work a little bit here. So if you can roll your chest up so you're reaching up that leg. So you're trying to lift your shoulder blades off the ground. Now keep your head neutral, so looking straight at your thigh. Think about bringing your thigh and your chest closer towards each other every time you exhale. If you can, start to release your arms and reach out towards that bottom foot. So you can stay here trying to hold that leg in as much as you can. To advance, you can lift that bottom leg. So you can have a bend in both legs, that's fine. You're just trying to pull in a little bit more, so getting that core working. Inhaling in, and then exhale, lift a little bit more. Inhale in, and then exhale, lift a little bit more. If it's working, you'll get that little bit of shaking, as you can probably tell in my voice. Inhale in, and then exhale, lift, reach. Really reach through those fingertips. Try and get as much energy as you can into your body. Try to warm up a little bit more. Inhale in, exhale. One more. Inhale in, exhale, reach. And then slowly bring your head back down. Draw that right knee into your chest, and then draw some circles with that hip. And rotating the other way. So just moving that hip around in the hip socket. Good way to get nice and warm, isn't it? And then bring that leg down. Change legs, so left leg in. Interlace the fingers behind the back of that knee, and then do some nice big ankle rotations. I actually went for a hike 2 days ago, so my lower legs are really quite stiff, so this feels amazing. So you're interlacing your fingers and letting that leg sort of rest against your hands. Rotate the other direction if you haven't already. And then draw your toes back towards your face. Find a little bit more tension in that hamstring stretch. So whenever you're stretching, you don't want to pull to your max where you're really tensing, like I said. Find a place that works where you're getting that stretch, but you can relax still. Using those exhales. Drawing a little bit more. Make sure your head and neck's relaxed at this point. That right leg can be nice and relaxed. If you are tight in the front of the legs, you might feel a stretch in the front of the right leg as well. You can always bend that leg more if you start to feel it in your back. Okay, now take whatever option you took on the other side, flex the toes back towards your face. Start to lift your chest up, so chest towards that thigh. Think about squeezing in the front of that thigh and drawing it in closer towards you as you draw your chest towards that thigh. Now reach those arms out, so really make those arms active. Keep reaching as if you're trying to get your chest and your thigh to touch. Probably won't. Keep reaching though. If you want to advance, lift up that bottom leg. Breathe. Every time you exhale, come up just that little bit further, even if there's no movement. See if you can create a little bit more tension on that exhale. Inhale into your belly, and then exhale. Try and get that little bit of shaking happening again like you did on the other side of my voice. One more breath. And then slowly come down. Draw that left knee into the chest and just do some small rotations there with that hip. And rotating back the other way. Nice work. And then you're going to roll onto your left side. Elbow underneath your shoulder. Bring your knees together. Your hips might be back just a little bit, but really try and make sure that you're not putting too much pressure on these shoulders. So you're going to pull this elbow in towards you, so you're lifting up a little bit through the side here. So you should feel tension under here as you do it. Driving through the bottom knee, just like the bridge that we did at the start, you're going to lift your hips and then drive them forward, so you're squeezing through your butt. So we're just getting a little bit of work, tension through this bottom side body here. Extend that top leg out and lift a little bit more. So stay like this if you need. Advance, lift that leg and extend. Keep trying to pull that elbow in, so you don't want tension in your shoulder here. You want all that tension to be in this side body. Squeeze your butt, lift a little bit higher. You can lift that top hand if that helps too. Not if it helps, it'll probably just make it more challenging. 2 more breaths. And then slowly lower those hips down. So we're going to do a side body stretch. Extend the left leg out. Flex your toes back towards you. Then bring your right foot anywhere in front of you. Now, stay here if you already feel a stretch down this side. If you need a little bit more, press up onto your hands. So this leg can go anywhere too if you need it to be down here. Press up onto your hands. And then you can start to rotate until you find a little bit of stretch through this side body. So rotating my chest to the ground, I find that stretch a little bit more. Your ribs are going to go towards the mat, so you're really finding that movement through that side. So once you've found where you can find that nice side body stretch, really pressing through the pinky toe side of your foot. Again, just find those nice deep breaths. You can put weight through both hands if you need. And then come back to center, bring that leg over. Bring your legs back to center. Just do a little inner thigh stretch here, bring your feet together. Toes together. And you can grab onto your feet here, lift up tall. And then you're going to start to lean forward. So try not to round through your back too much here. I just want you to start to lean forward a little bit. Sort of different ways to do this stretch targets different things. So this tends to open up a little bit more into the outer hips and a little bit probably in the groin. And then we're going to change to the other side. So starting with that side plank on this side, elbow under your shoulder. Knees slightly in front, and then as you lift up, push your hips up and then drive forward. So squeeze the side of your butt, pull the elbow in, so it's like your elbow's trying to reach down to your left knee. And then if you want to advance, lift that top leg up and extend out. So you're really trying to lift through these hips here, so you should feel all tension in the side of the body. If you want to make it more intense, extend that top arm up. It's all about finding that breath. So the breath helps to connect to those deep core muscles as well through your diaphragm. And then slowly bring that knee down, lower all the way down. Side stretch on this side, so extend the bottom leg. So the right leg out, left leg on top, so you can bring it anywhere that feels comfortable. Extend it out through that bottom leg though. And then finding that rotation. Again, you can be down on your elbow if this is enough for you, or onto your hands, and then find that little bit of rotation. So wherever you can go, again, so where you can find that stretch, but you're not pressing, you're not pushing into it, somewhere where you can feel that stretch and then just relax into it. And come back to that breath. Just take one more breath here. And then coming all the way back up. Come into this position again with your feet together. This time you can try and drive your elbows into the sides of your thighs as you reach forward. And this time you can round a little bit more in your back. So this is more of that inner thigh stretch. You can bring your hands onto your feet. Drive your elbows down to the ground, that elbows into your thighs. Still trying to reach that chest forward. grab a drink if you need, and then we're going to meet. Okay, from your belly, your elbows are going to be under your shoulders and your hands flat onto the mat. So we're going to just work a little bit onto your upper back mobility. So you're going to tuck through that upper back round, look down towards your belly, so really rounding through that upper back, and then I want you to go the opposite way. So moving through your spine again, drop your belly down, drop your chest down, draw your elbows in and really open through that chest. So look up as much as you can without your neck really straining too much. And then tuck that chin in again, round. Just getting some movement after sitting at your desk, maybe looking at the computer. So try this time to really press the back of your head up towards the ceiling as you come up. So as you're coming up, press the back of your head up. So really give yourself a big double chin. No one can see, not even me. So press the back of your head up towards the ceiling and then start to lift through your head. This will help you get those deep neck flexors working rather than that desk neck that we always seem to go into a little bit when we work at our computers. And then tuck your chin in around, look towards your belly, and then drop. Press the back of the head up towards the ceiling, and then look up towards the sky. And then come find a neutral position, sort of halfway in between. If this is a good stretch for you, stay here. If you need just a little bit more, you can start to press through your hands a little bit and come up. You're just going to hold there for about 10 seconds while I demonstrate the next exercise. In this exercise, I want you to have your forehead on the mat, so I don't want you to be looking at the screen. So your forehead's going to be on the mat, your elbows are going to come to the side. You're going to lift your hands, lift your elbows, so you're working this upper back muscles here. You're going to extend your arms out in front of you and then draw back, squeeze your elbows into your side. So starting, bring your forehead down to the mat, lift your elbows, lift your hands, use the upper back muscles, so neck's nice and relaxed, head's relaxed. Extend your arms out in front of you as much as you can, and then exhale, pull back, squeeze your elbows in. So try and keep a little bit of tension in your low belly, so you're not arching through your back, extend out, and then exhaling, pulling back in, squeezing those elbows down towards your side. So keeping your head on the mat, keep extending out, and then pull back, squeeze. Lifting your palms, see if you can get the back of your hands further towards the ceiling, pull back, squeeze. So you should be feeling this in that upper back, in between your shoulder blades. Still using that breath. Just trying to get these muscles working a little bit if you've been hunching at the computer. One more time, inhale out, and then exhale, pulling. Good. Bring your hands down to the side where they were back in that 90 sort of degree position, and then bring your right cheek to the mat. You're going to stretch through your left side of your right side of your chest, so your left hand's going to come in, and any amount with your right cheek on the mat, just press over a little bit onto your side. So your right arm is staying flat onto the mat, your hand is flat onto the mat, and you're just getting a little bit of a stretch through that right side of your chest. So let the right shoulder really sink down into the mat. If you want a little bit more stretch, you can start to even bring that leg back. And again, just try and hold in that position and breathe. So the right shoulder is sinking down towards the ground. Feeling too much tension or anything, remember, back out of it again and find a place where you can hold and relax. One more breath here. And then come back to center. Moving straight onto the other side, left hand onto the mat. So elbow at about 90 degrees, left cheek on the mat, and then roll over to the side. So you can keep your legs together, pressing through the right hand, over. You can bring your leg back if you want a little bit more stretch through that whole front of the body. come all the way back. So you're going to press back into a child's pose now. Bring your knees nice and wide. Push your hips back onto your feet, or as much as you can. Really try and lengthen your arms out in front of you, so it's a shoulder stretch as much as anything else. Chest comes down to the ground, and bring your face down towards the ground. So this will be an option for the next few stretches. You can always come back to this child's pose position. Come up to your hands and knees. Your knees are going to be under your hips and your hands under your shoulders. Press through your thumbs a lot in your hands though. Tuck your toes under, take an inhale into your belly, and then exhale, lift your knees just an inch off the mat. So you're trying to draw your wrists towards your knees and the knees towards your wrists. Look straight down in front of you and keep that breath going. So again, we're just connecting to our core a little bit. And then drop those knees down. This time you can come back to that child's pose position, or if you want a little bit more, you can come to downward dog position. So tucking your toes under, lift your hips up, and then think about pressing your chest towards your thighs. You want to keep your ears in between your biceps though, so you're not pressing your head down here, so ears staying nice and long. Really press through the palms of your hands. Keep a bend in your knees. So a lot of people think they have to straighten it out straight away. Keep a bend in your knees and think about your tailbone going up and back to the top corner of the ceiling. And then once you've got that length in the spine, so you should feel a little bit of stretch maybe in the hamstrings, you can start to press your heels down towards the ground and straighten those legs out a little bit. Yeah, and if any time this is too much, come back to that child's pose position. You're still getting that same stretch in the shoulders. One more breath here. And then however you can get there, lift the right foot up and bring it in between your hands. Drop the left knee down. So I might go a little bit off camera here. So right knee, left knee on the ground, right foot in front of left. And I want you to keep your left knee right under your left hip. So we're not dropping into this. So we don't want to keep your back in a nice neutral position. So knee right under the hip. Instead of that, what I want you to do is imagine drawing the front of your pelvis up and the tailbone back down. So you're getting this nice pelvic tilt. So it's almost like you're trying to press into your low back too. So rounding through there, so you're really getting that tilt, and you should get a really much more intense stretch at the top of that hip. So again, if you've been sitting at a desk, this is an area that kind of gets quite tight. As well as that, you're using your butt to tone a little bit. So toning through the butt and stretching out through here at the same time. Now you can stay here if that's enough for you. If you want a little bit more, left hand's going to reach up to the sky and then reach over again. So getting that stretch down through the side and through the front of that hip. If you're taking this option, make sure you don't lose that stretch in the front. So keep trying to tone through the butt, drawing through the belly to get that openness through the front of the hip. If it's too much with your hand over your head, bring it onto the outside of your knee and just get a little bit of that rotation through the front there as well. One more breath. And then bring both hands down inside of that front leg, inside of the right leg. You can shuffle the left leg back a little bit if you want. Hands are going to stay down, so this is probably already a stretch for most people. So hands flat under the inside of that right leg. You can stay here. If you want a little bit more, you can start to press that right leg out a little bit. You can even use that right hand to press. So you're just getting nice and open through this right hip. Try and keep your chest reaching forward. So you'll still be getting that stretch through the front of that left side as well. Keep reaching that chest forward. And then start to bring that leg back onto both knees. And you can either come back to that child's pose, or you're going to come back to that downward dog, whichever choice you prefer today. Hips up to the sky. So even in downward dog, you still get that little lift through the belly. Again, trying to press those heels a little bit further down towards the ground if you can. Press through the palms of your hands. And then any way you can, so if you need to drop down to your knee and help the left leg up, you can do that. So left leg up, right knee this time under the right hip. I'm going to change this direction. So right knee under the right hip. And again, rather than leaning forward and sinking into it, I want you to try and tuck your tailbone under, so toning through the butt as you're getting that length there. And then if you want those options, you can take lifting your hand up or just bringing your hand to that thigh, getting that little bit of rotation. So a lot of the times too, if you feel tight in a certain area, it can be weakness as well. So if you're feeling tight through the front of the legs here, it could be a little bit of weakness in the glutes. So holding a little bit of tone there while you're getting that stretch is going to help facilitate that action more often. So really getting that tilt in the hips. So imagine you're pressing, trying to round through that low back. One more breath here. And then bring your hands down to the inside of that left leg. Again, you can move the right leg back, whatever feels best for you. And then just reaching your chest forward. You can bring the left hand to the inside of that left thigh and drive it out a little bit if that feels good. Or just hold in this position with your chest coming forward. Really opening through that chest. Just taking one more breath. Might have been two, not very good counting. Just felt like a good stretch. And then either come back to that child's pose position or downward dog. Take 1 minute to have a quick drink break and we'll meet again. Okay, so from laying on your back, reach your right arm out to the side. You're going to roll over onto your right side. Palms are going to come together. Knees are going to stay together. So draw your knees into your chest a little bit. Palms are going to draw together, and then your left arm you're going to draw in like a bow and arrow, so draw it all the way in. You're going to start to open through that chest. So keep your knees together, tucked into your chest, just getting this nice big rotation through your upper back. Again, try and breathe a little bit here to find that breath through the side of the ribs to really open through that chest. If you want, you can come back and forward a few times if that opening felt good. You can open up a few times, or you can just hold in that position, whatever felt best for you. You might not get that left hand all the way to the ground, and that's all right. You can just sort of go halfway in between, bend your elbow, bring your hand to your chest, whatever you need to just open up through that rotation. One more breath here. And then slowly roll back to center. You bring your arms in, draw your knees into your chest, tuck your chin into your chest, and roll up, hug into a ball. Bring your legs down, and then moving on to the other side. So left arm's going to come down onto the ground, knees into your chest, and then roll open through that chest. Again, you can come back and forth a few times. You might find one side has better rotation than the other, and that's normal. We don't really do things symmetrically during the day, so you might just be able to rotate further one way than the other. So try not to judge, just again try and breathe into it. You can bring your hand to your chest if it's too much for your shoulder. One more breath. And then draw your knees in, roll back to center. Tuck up into a little ball. So draw your knees right into your chest, tuck into a tiny little ball here. We're going to do one more bit of work before we go down to a little bit more relaxed. So I want you to squeeze in even tighter, try and draw your knees in and try and squeeze your chin into your chest. Now see if you can start to release your hands a little bit and keep trying to draw in. Good, so you're going to try and extend one leg out, the other knee draws in. And then exhale, come back in. Oh, it's already making my voice shake. Reach your hands out if you can. Other leg goes out. And then exhale, draw in. Good. One leg at a time. And then exhale, draw in. Other leg. Now if you want to advance, you can try and go both legs out. And then exhale, draw in. See if you can tuck into a tiny ball. If you want to make it even harder, extend the arms out, extend the legs out. Exhale, tuck into that tiny ball. Reach your hands around your feet. Inhale out. Exhale, tuck, take whatever option you need. Last bit of work on that core. Inhale out, still breathe. Exhale, draw in, reach, 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 reach. Inhale out. Exhale, draw back in, reach. You can close your eyes like me if you need to. Two more, inhale out. Exhale, draw back in, squeeze into that little ball. One more. And then bring your feet back down to the mat. Okay. We're going to go into a little bit of a relaxing pose now. So whichever pose works for you. Again, stretching is about down regulating that nervous system as well. So you can either go feet wide, knees can come together. You can extend your legs out, palms come up towards the sky. Just like at the start of class, we're just going to take a little moment to come back to your breath. So you can take a little almost inventory of how your body's feeling now. Possibly you might be feeling a little bit taller. Possibly there might be some spaces where tension was released. Hopefully you're able to breathe a little bit deeper. Finding that breath coming into the belly a little bit easier if you've stretched out. And hopefully found this time to de-stress, remove any of those tensions. See if you can release the space in between your eyes. So release any tension from your face, from your neck and shoulders, so you can roll those away underneath you. slowly bring your feet, bend your knees, take it nice and slow. Roll onto one side, whichever side's most comfortable for you. And then use your hands to press you up to a seated position. Again, come into a comfortable seat. If you want to take a few more minutes to just stay with your breath, if you've got time, please do that. If there's any more stretches you want to repeat, if we didn't do them long enough, please go back to that. Thank you guys very much for joining me today. Have a beautiful rest of your day.